Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Now,
Like,
at the back of your session, well done. That was
Thank you.
excellent.
Thanks,
Hannah
Josie.
Statham, everyone, ambassador of the art community here, the Australian Regional Tourism Network. How long have you been an ambassador?
I think it's been 3 years, but I feel like I was an unofficial ambassador for a lot longer. I am all for the regions.
All for the regions.
All for the regions.
And I only found out yesterday you've actually had a long experience with this particular region through your pre-Media Mortar.
Yes. So I think I've worked in tourism marketing for 17 years now. It's all I know, really. It's sort of where I got my career start in tourism marketing, but I have always loved the regions. They're so much more fun to market than metro centres. No offense to our metro centres watching. It's so incredible. The passion, the products, the events, they're so fun and quirky. And yeah, I just love it. It's so infectious.
It's so infectious. As you just watching you present now, the arts. So we did a whole, you ran a session and encouraged everyone, very practical session in creating. And we had our art leaders in the room actually creating short form content, some of them their first reel. Talk to us a little bit about your session and some key takeaways that we can share with everybody that's tuning in.
Well, I guess how the session kind of came about is I was actually in the back of Tanya's car coming back from the South Australian Tourism Conference, and I was like, I just feel like sometimes it's just really great. We always learn about these great things, but there's never time to practice. What if we did something that was super hands-on and we actually got to do it? And she was like, yes, I'm going to take it to the board. Hold that thought. So anyway, she suggested, and I ended up pitching this session, and it was so fun. So it was essentially, the premise was scaling the mountain of vertical video. We all know vertical video is the future. We know we should be video first. That's all well and good. But what if you don't know how to make a video? What if you're too scared? What if no one sat down to teach you and now you feel like you're behind the 8 ball?
Yeah.
So you do nothing. And all that's happening is you're getting further behind. So we had a really gentle, soft space for everyone to land, to create a video. We did a really simple version, which was templates, which only 2 people took, and everyone else took the harder option, which was a really cool trend with some transitions. They had to edit, they had to cut it together, and every single person in the room got it out. They worked in teams. It was really fun. And at the end, we were trying to get them out of the room, and everyone still wanted to finish their videos.
Well, there was so much commotion. Poor Hamish thought that the session had ended.
Yeah.
This is like, they're coming out. There was just, that was a lot of fun. And we had some published that we'll share, so everyone can see what you can see what the result was. I loved also a hitting point for me, and I learned something, which I always do, like anyone that comes into your session, around the concept of lo-fi content, because I always treat it as DIY.
Yeah, so it was all about, lo-fi content, so low-fidelity content. So just content that's shot on your phone, turned around really fast. It's exactly what you've been doing for years, and I always admire you, Desi, you're always just shooting content, getting it up in the moment, because it's too late. You're here capturing content at an event. Don't post it in a week's time.
Yes.
It's got to be of the minute. You've got to catch people. And I think even, what you just did then, just for everyone watching, you're just now with our chat show. I just finished the session, and Desi came up and said, like, come and do this interview. You get that sense of that person just as they finished, and you're capturing it in the moment. And that's what lo-fi content is about. And there's certainly still a place for high content, your professional DSLR shots, there's no one's replacing TVCs with an iPhone, but it's the content that people are consuming. And the thing is your phone is so powerful at the moment. iPhone content is what's playing on Channel 7 every night, whether it's a natural disaster, or a
this is true.
A sporting thing, a riot that breaks out, a snake in the house. That's what people are shooting on, and it's good enough for the TV. The latest, I'm a Kardashians fan, and Courtney and Travis's wedding was shot on an iPhone, and it's good enough for Hulu and Disney Plus. Well, it's good enough for your destination. Get out there and shoot it. And I played quite a few examples of things that, we often see things that are so complicated, and then we get scared. But you know what? Some of our best performing content maybe took 3 minutes to shoot. It was just quick caption over the top super, set to a great track, you know.
Oh, and I love the way you really chunked it down for everyone, because it's like, everyone tells me it's easy, and I don't actually find it that easy.
Yeah.
Just like, let's just have a safe space to experiment.
And practice.
And also the case studies you shared, that even, you have some larger clients and you're helping them shoot, because you can tell.
Just,
It's anything over or highly produced or hi-fi content in this medium doesn't quite cut it sometimes either.
And I think it's what it also is it's too expensive to shoot. And it is. And that's not videographers gouging. It's just the cost of gear, the cost of insurance, the cost of doing business is really high. So people, what they're doing is not shooting any video content. And I would much rather everyone shoots video content, uses their iPhone to capture it, do it and empower people and do a capacity building thing, because it's not, it looks easy, yes, and it is. I'm not saying it needs to be, you need to feel it's easy, because it is hard when you're learning. But when you break it down into steps, it's very achievable. And it's something that I think for regions where budgets, the regions I work with, budgets have been slashed, events drastically, it's a really great opportunity to capture things in the moment, and you're on the ground and you've got the best in regional tourism. We've got the best possible content ever. Like, look where we are in Mackay. It's stunning.
Ever. I have to share with you the middle of everywhere. Young Mike there, he does Content Fridays, and he'll go and do a short piece around his region. I think it's another good example of just on their phone as they started, just start and learn as you go. Now, Media Mortar.
Yes.
Tell me about your evolution in the way that you help your clients today, particularly in this space, is very different to probably when you started a good 8 years ago.
Absolutely. And I think, that to me is the exciting thing of running your own business and digital marketing, is that it's the only constant is change, and you've got to lean into it. And I love that personally, is that what we were doing 8 years ago was lots of blog posts, lots of websites, lots of EDMs, and it's really moved, then it's for social media, then all of a sudden organic social media, your content seen by 1% of your audience who's investing in that. So then it moved into paid. Now we're packaging organic and paid, and now we're adding in these vertical videos and doing this sort of lo-fi content. Whereas when I started 8 years ago, I would never have shot at something on an iPhone. We would have engaged the videographer, very expensive, sent them out, had a producer. It was all very, Mickey Mouse looking beautiful, talent, little straw hat, Instagrammable outfit. It was the style at the time, and I think it's so deflationary, social media at the moment is, as a small destination with no budget, you've got the same access to consumers as really big destinations, and the only barrier is the time that you can afford to get out of the office to shoot it. And I think that is something, you're either paying in money or time, and this stuff is time consuming. It doesn't have to be, you can shoot much shorter, more timely pieces of content, but there is still a cost to a business to send someone out to shoot it. But I think it's a great opportunity, particularly for regions and events where budgets are leaner than ever before.
Yes.
But I think probably what we're doing a lot more of now is really connecting a lot of dots for businesses and filling a lot of gaps where maybe they don't have time or don't have the resources, and really linking sort of with content being the glue to really building an omni-channel strategy to make sure that messages are going out on all your platforms. Because what I find with most clients is they just don't have time to talk on all their channels. So the channels are sitting there dormant, and they're just lost opportunities.
Yeah. That's a really important distinction there, that if it's also realizing that for me to do this, and it's not even about doing it well or not, be consistent.
Yes.
That I've made the decision, I want to show up, I want to, we're doing a disservice by not showing up to these channels, to our destination.
What it is if you don't tell your story, someone else will.
Yeah.
Someone else will take your customer, someone else will eat your lunch, and then you'll get cranky and wonder where the customers are, So I guess two things will happen. One is someone will take your customers, or someone will tell your story and you won't like what they say about you.
I think it's important too, on the back of Mark's presentation, and we did a little interview with him earlier on the feed, but even from having the systems and the strategies in place when it comes to crisis and not being in control of the narrative that's been told, how can you deliver content quickly and feed the media the good stories?
Exactly, and wasn't that interesting when Mark said that the first people he got on the ground was the content creators?
Yeah.
But probably, I think before that, it would have been his staff. It was the content creators internally.
Yeah.
And whenever, we've been doing any sort of comms pieces around crisis, it's vertical content, VNRs, back when I was, a proper publicist, we, would create these VNRs with these big cameras, video news release, and we'd go and film this and write this press release.
Today.
Stick around with me, Despina. I'm full of acronyms.
VNR.
And you do these VNRs, and they were enormous, big, massive cameras. Like what I do now, go out with my iPhone, film something going down, but equally, if I'm in charge of the comms strategy, I'll get my spokespeople, I speak to them, get it from all sort of angles, get a bit of vision. You send that off to the news. That's what they're running. Or what I'm doing for a couple of clients, just tag them in my reel on Instagram. Yeah. And it's been getting picked up. I haven't sent a press release been doing tourism marketing for 17, 18 years and haven't sent a press release for 16 of them.
See, even the way that these, like on Instagram, the way you can collaborate together.
Exactly.
And amplify content that now, even probably 6 months ago, we collaborate on a reel together. I'd have to send it to you, or you send whoever's the lead in the production. But now we just collaborate. We leverage on that data.
Exactly.
I never thought of that, but that's what we'll do.
That's what we could do
later.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, I remember going on a holiday 12 years ago, and that was a big thing. I went and bought a big beastie lens and a good digital camera for the memories with the kid. I nearly knocked my daughter's tooth out because she's so little, and I turned and her gum bled. And ever holiday since.
Well, isn't it funny? Like these are, they've got I don't know what megapixel camera, but, it's certainly better than the, Sony Coolpix I was once taking out. It's
right.
It's incredible. 1,000 times faster.
And it's the same in business now.
It's
the same in business that, even a crappy phone is good.
And you know what? The best camera is the one you've got on you. And I think that's,
you're bringing out the bangers today.
Exactly. You've got to get out there. You've got to get shooting. And, and I think everyone got a lot out of it, and hopefully
everyone got a lot out of it. And the best thing about any type of workshopping is actually the doing. And it wasn't only doing, but publishing something was excellent. I can't wait to share that with everyone. So in terms of, if anybody's watching, regional, destination or otherwise, and to get in touch with you and explore opportunities of how you can help regions or businesses that might be inspired, what would be the best way?
Oh, well, you can find us online at www.mediamortar.com.au. We're on all the social media channels as per content marketing agency. And you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm at Hannah Statham, so you can find me easily
Very
there.
great LinkedIner.
I'm trying really hard.
Yeah.
It is my favorite organic platform. Fun fact, did you know that the engagement rate generally on LinkedIn sits at about 16%?
Really?
Yeah.
See, there you go. I didn't know that.
Because your other channels might be 1 to 2%.
It's really interesting with LinkedIn, because I was really active when I first started my business and just trying to
all the
use
time on there.
But I paused. But really only the last few years when I saw all the people are on there, and just I really love it too. It's become a primary. Yeah. Very good. Smart collaborations, these networking opportunities when you can't be in the room, and using even something like this is good. And if anyone, so your experience now, I want to end your experience at this convention. You go to a lot of conferences, speaking, presenting, attending around the country. Tell me, in Hannah's way, what makes the Australian Regional Tourism Convention different?
I would say this would be the only, if my marketing budget got chopped to pieces and I could only pick one thing, I would choose this conference every time because it's so friendly. And now I know this sounds like a really soft answer, but I don't love going to a conference where I know no one. I mean, who does? But I really, it's not for me. I'd rather walk on glass than be in a room full of strangers. It's not for me. This is the kind of conference that you can arrive and with no friends and you'll leave with 10, 20 people that you could call on at any time. I think that the speakers, the way that the program is designed has really is a lot of breadth in it, but each topic has a lot of depth as well. And a lot of thought and care goes into that. Whereas I think some conferences I attend often, there's a lot of sponsors and there's perhaps chasing sponsorship dollars. So the relevancy is not there. I think that there are a lot of care goes into the curation, which makes it really interesting. And there's a really good mix between sort of plenary sessions, workshops, practical, and there's heaps of time for networking because let's all be honest, I'm here to grab 3 takeaways, that's all my brain can really take away. I'm not, I'm a deep thinker, but I don't have much time, to fully internalize once I've reached that point. I'm here for the chit chat. I'm here to make new friends. I'm here to make new connections. I'm here to meet new destinations. And, I spend a lot of money at these conferences finding new places to take holidays, to be super honest.
True.
I've just, I just met some of the team from Tourism WA, and quite frankly, that's where we're off to now. So, I'm a liability. But I really do like this conference, and I like the networking and the facilitated networking as well as someone who's quiet and shy, and I don't necessarily love this sort of, sometimes I think some conferences are cliquey and, or there's no opportunity for chat because all you're doing is being stuck inside a room. And I do really like the format of this.
Same. And your key takeaway so far, has there been any key ahas?
I really loved Mark Olsen's Prezzo, and I think because I've done quite a few crisis projects, and I actually did work on a Jasper project as part of that cyclone and situation, it was so good for him to walk through the exact steps, so fresh as what had gone on up there. And the way he presented it, what if this happened? What would you do? Who would you call? Really broke it down. And he was right. There wasn't anything in his presentation that probably anyone didn't already have the answers to. Crisis communications or dealing with a crisis is quite formulaic no matter where you are. But when you're faced in it and you can't see, your way clear, all of that becomes incredibly muddled, and that's where people panic and they don't make great decisions about things. I just really loved that presentation, and he opened with a stat that I've popped in my phone, which act surprised when you see it on LinkedIn. Mark, I'll tag you. Was that it was 75%. I've got so many notes. Look at this. I've gone crazy. 75 times more likely to have a disaster in this day and age rather than in like the 80s to the 90s. And so I think for all destinations or events, it's not a question of if, it's when, and having your crisis plan actually
Hands
ready.
down. And businesses.
And I think from what I know of particularly natural events that I've worked on in the last 12 months, your biggest channels that you've got to talk to people in a crisis are your digital ones. They are your Facebooks. They are your Instagrams.
At scale.
Or at least they're the ones you mobilize first because you've got the full control over them. And yet I work on a lot of social media accounts and they don't have crisis plans or they don't have a triage system. And, you can bet your bottom dollar that crisis, the flood is going to happen on a weekend at night over Christmas on a public holiday, at 2 a.m. That's when the team, do you even have a team on call? Most people don't. So that really resonated for me. And I really loved the Finch Hatton mountain biking Prezzo. I went to that because it was just, it's the most epic brand and design. And I really enjoyed seeing that and a council really invest heavily in a brand
That's
strategy.
this local. I missed that one. That's the
it's the local mountain biking trail.
Oh,
we
yes,
didn't do
Ian was
the.
telling us
It was
about,
it was
yeah.
just really cool because I think often businesses or brands or destinations get a bit scared at the 11th hour to be bold and brave with their branding, and it's beautiful. We didn't do it or anything, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and it looks the goods, and it's branded the whole way through, even the names of the tracks. I think one's called Chuckasiki, for example. So like the tone of voice of the brand, and it's memorable.
Yes.
And I just love it when a business or a brand is actually bold enough. To me, it makes no sense to be a wallflower, and yet how many wallflower brands do you find everywhere?
And we were touching on this last night, and I guess that leads to even this whole concept, particularly when it comes to content. And I love it with your agency. You're kind of niche in a different lane.
Yeah.
Being a content marketing agency, that now this question of like, oh, there's AI now, do we need help with our marketing? But what I'm seeing is the opposite, that now we've got vanilla AI copy and content.
I know, and if you do something that stands out, it really gets you.
So then you see something like this, because that's human intelligence, like being clever.
And I think the power of a good brand, and this is bold for me in that I have no interest in ever being on a mountain bike, but the way it was branded was enough for me to go, where is this place? And I think
we're getting a mountain bike.
I'm now into mountain biking. Like that one time I did this trip to Fraser Island, but it was called that Ogari now, and I came back and I said, Chris, we need a 4-wheel drive. And he was like, quick, let's get down to the showroom. It was the moment in time he knew he had to capitalize on. I cannot mention a mountain bike to him.
So you got it.
No, we did end up with a 4-wheel drive. That was in my 4-wheel driving era. It was, when I was young and fun and didn't have children.
Love it.
When we could go on adventures every weekend, not to ballet at 9:30 on a Saturday.
But look, that's also a testament to your love for this convention, because last year you came with baby
Walter, and Nanny, and I was still feeding.
You're like, I'm missing this.
No, I didn't.
We can do this.
Yeah. So both of my children have been to an ART when they were
they
too little.
Too, yes.
I took Penny to Ballarat, and Walter came to Newcastle.
Yes.
So
you had Walter.
He was 9 months old. So
amazing. You're amazing. I do now, just my own curiosity, your pivotal moment from your working with TEQ, what was the moment where you said, I really want to give this a go and go out on my own and help?
Well, I did. I worked somewhere else between the two jobs. But for me, I had started assisting some builders doing some social media on the side. So that's how my business was called, Media Mortar. So I was helping builders, and it was just sort of at this, I guess, moment in time when builders were starting to realize that, websites are important, branding's important. Maybe I should be on Instagram. Or maybe we shouldn't look so scruffy on site, etc. It was that sort of crossroads, and it was one that I think tourism had been at maybe 5 to 7 years earlier. Everyone had already hopped onto Facebook and Instagram, and I saw this opportunity to bring a new industry into what we love.
Yes.
And so I started running social media accounts for builders, and it just took over my full-time job salary pretty quick, and it just
So do you think I've learned?
So it just
good.
I had sort of by the time I had six or so clients, it was a full-time job, and then in 3 months I had an employee, and then 6 months I was in an office with 2 employees, and
fast forward history. 8 years later.
Yeah, I know.
Full office.
We bought our office, and it's going well. Like, I love it though, but it doesn't feel like work because I'm passionate about what I do. Like, humans.
Yes. I think everybody in this room, and most, seeing everybody that's coming and joining us live, and anyone that's going to return to watch, there is a lot of passionate humans of tourism that want to do better, grow better. And speaking of, you're always doing better. You're always surprising and delighting, and it's lovely to catch up with you. And thank you. We got this done this year.
We did. I know. I know. You grabbed me. It was like,
No, this is wonderful. So let's have a wonderful rest of art. and
you.
lots more to take in. We're not even at day one completion yet.
No,
So
but I
there's
feel like
another-
I've done my talk, so I can kick
so
my
you
heels
can
up
do-
tonight.
Yeah, nice.
No, I'm on tomorrow at Ask an Ambassador, so I'm talking if anyone's...
Yes, what's that? So for anyone that may be considering next year, talk about that, the ambassadorship. And what?
So there's 10 of us in total, and at the convention they do this program as a part of the schedule. I don't even know what you call it. Block of time called Ask an Ambassador, where each of the ambassadors, each of us have a different specialty, and it's kind of like speed dating. So last year it was maybe tables of 10 plus your ambassador, and each of us had a topic. So last year my whole thing was on TikTok, and people would come and ask me questions about TikTok and working with creators and relevant to their business council event, wherever they were coming from, and we would troubleshoot. I would provide advice, and maybe as a group we'd troubleshoot. So this year I'm doing some stuff around paid social media and social media strategy, and people can swing past my table, and it was really good, particularly last year because we were doing TikTok, and I had a heap of councils at my table, and a lot of the challenges that if one council was facing it, it was the same challenge that the next. So it was really interesting to group think and share knowledge on how to get around certain things.
Especially with TikTok, I've heard it along the grapevine, particularly in the last 6 months, a lot of councils have banned TikTok. Have you found that too?
Yeah, and lots can't get it over the line because it's of privacy issues, etc., which not to be dismissive of. They're very legitimate concerns, etc.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're going after this Gen Z market and that's relevant to your destination, there's a real argument for it.
And that certainly doesn't dismiss TikTok-esque content like you taught everyone today that can be used on the mainstream platforms.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
More
joining
to come.
us.
Yes, thank you to everyone for joining. Look, there's people are staying there.
Oh, people are there. Well, this is embarrassing.
No.
Thank you for joining us. Now on the couch with Hannah and
Despina. Yes. A good artful chat. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the convention and more to come. Thank you, Hannah.
Bye-bye.
Media Mortar. Check her out.